I started this year on a very clear note.
Forever.
It's 31st of December 2021. I just want to be happy. That's the only thing I want from this year. I just want to be happy.
I don't think it's such a bold dream to simply live. But it is, for so many people. Feels unachievable even at times. I myself spent years dreading waking up in the morning and going through yet another day I didn't want to be present for. I cried thinking of my future, wondering how I'm gonna get through yet another year or decade if I can't get through today. I can't really compute the idea of existing only to survive or achieve. To me, existing is a prison. I don't want to exist. I don't want to be anything. I just want to feel joy and not label my life in any way. I don't want a job title or status to define me. I don't want to work just to have and to earn, as if life had no value of its own and my experiences are only valid and worthy if I can monetize or utilize them for profit in some way. But it's also how the world runs, how we are expected to be. So I didn't see a place for myself in this system. I didn't think I can find a way to live in a world like that. And then came 2022. Зараз
Będziemy w kistach. I love it.
A ktoś tam siedzi, czy co? O Boże, tam są ludzie! Jezus!
This year felt like I fell into a river with disruptive and chaotic currents, and for a while I drowned, not knowing where is up or down. I got a shitty but well-paying job and I quit it after 2.5 months. I moved to my own place, that was a dream, and now I'm moving again, back in with roommates. I once didn't work for over a month, focusing on non-profit projects, and then I worked overtime for 3 months to catch up on rent. I spent the last money I had on things like wine, Chinese takeout at 1 a.m. and clubbing, not knowing how I'd pay for my next groceries. Talk about responsibility. The piling up, never-ending stream of bills overwhelms me and makes me think, why can't I just create when I'm inspired? Why can't I do projects I'm excited about, no matter if they're profitable or not? I admit, I have my moments, okay? Throwing a tantrum at the universe for having rules and conditions for everything.
What's going on?
How a lobster becomes a pet. But with time, I started to accept the aggressive currents and learn how to drift despite them. To allow myself to be carried with the flow instead of trying to swim upstream.
Aww.
It was very nice. I acted on an impulse and now it's the results are questionable. Anyway. I guess you could call me irresponsible and immature because I'm not planning my career, not saving up, not thinking of retirement and family and settling down at any point. But planning, or rather anxiously planning to secure the future, is what I used to be consumed with. That's why life felt like prison. Because if something is important only if it's an investment, pleasure will always be a payoff in the future, not something you can have right now. Except the future never comes. The present moment just keeps happening infinitely, and the plans to have, to do, to be, stay in that fake future to obtain one day.
O dziewczyny, no po prostu, no.
Mój mózg nie jest w stanie wymyślić myśli w tym momencie.
Co? Słyszycie to? No ja to słyszę. Nie.
I did so much pondering over this year what happiness is, if it's achievable, if it even exists, most of which you can see on this channel. And as this year is wrapping up and I'm looking back at where I was starting it and where I'm looking to go, I think I've had joy all around me all this time, but I was too consumed with grief to let it in. When we spiral into extreme emotions like sorrow and pain, this gentle light as a feather glow of happiness gets overshadowed by the darkness all around us. We get so cold we can't imagine what warmth is anymore, and how we could possibly feel it again in the deep, ever-present winter. Because happiness is not ecstasy. Happiness is not an overpowering, exhausting high. Happiness doesn't rip your lungs out in euphoric screams. Happiness is not a wildfire that consumes you and burns you to coal. I found warmth on the nights I didn't want to see or talk to anyone, but I was lucky enough to have someone pull me outside, out of my head. I found it on the evenings when I forced myself to go out, even for a while, looking sloppy and tired, and I still had the best of times. I found it in cheap wine and in drinking it at 10 p.m. on a first day at my friend's place. I found it in people hyping up my outfits after I almost didn't go out, consumed by my insecurity. I found it watching a movie with my mom, despite her reasons for being at my place were not really happy. I found it in a kind comment from a stranger. I found it in every heartfelt smile I received and every hug I got this year. I found it in long hot showers and making a million bullet point lists. I found it in best friends for one night, in soulmates that were never meant to stay, but they said the right thing at the right time, and they never knew my views on life changed fundamentally with this seemingly insignificant interaction, blackout drunk or high at a party. I found it in cooking breakfast at 3 p.m. after a night out, enjoying one of the few luxuries I can afford, Spotify Premium. I found that 1,000 tiny candles gives more light and warmth than a fireplace with spectacular high-reaching flames. It's a bit harder to maintain, it needs constant care, but so does the big fire that bursts with power and wanes quickly, unless you keep feeding it. The candles are plenty, but they burn slowly, and as they do, they radiate heat from all directions, giving subtle but omnipresent comfort.